started here in a second. Make sure we're looking good on here. All right, that's good. My chat isn't working. That's a problem, but that's OBS and YouTube's issue. Alright, somehow Discord know what's going on. So now guys, we'll get started here in just a second. Alright. Just a second, I gotta get organized. The desktop, there has to be an easier way to do this stuff. Give me one moment. Check, check, can you hear me? We'll get started here in a second.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Okay. Alright, that looks good. Check, check, check volumes. Okay, volumes are good there. Volumes good on this side. Volumes are good on this side. Okay. We look good. We'll get into this all in just a moment. All right, we got a lot to talk about today. Large severe weather threat. Large severe weather threat. What was I gonna do? Yeah, I'll answer your questions in a second, guys. Give me 1 second. What's going on, chat? All right, let's get to it. 104 people in here. All right, my YouTube chat is not working. Let's see if I can get it to work. Oh my God, OBS, you are not my favorite. Let's try this. I know how to make it possibly work. We're gonna try this. Give me 1 second. I just want to get my chat working before we start. I can see. Jen, I appreciate you. Oh my God, I don't know any of my passwords. Shoot. What the heck? I don't even know my password for YouTube. I think this is going to fix chat over on the YouTube side of things. It better. Okay. Great. I'm signed in. Fantastic. I know I'm signed in because I'm literally streaming. No. Hey. Hey, little guy. Want to say hi to chat? Say hi to chat. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm just gonna have to, okay, we'll get started here. I'm just gonna have to open YouTube and literally look at chat from it being open on my computer. I just hate having a billion applications open up because it slows. It's tough on the GPU. I mean, I have a million applications up while I'm streaming. All right, let's pull it up. Here we go. Let me pull up my own live stream so I can get started on this thing finally. There we go. There we are. That'll have to do. Move this over here. All right, we're good to go. How's everyone doing? Happy Friday. Now I can see you guys. Gran, what's up? Southwest. Yeah, I mean, eastern New Mexico, western Texas looks pretty aggressive today. Is it okay if I can give you a new weather overlay? I've had a lot of people try to give me new overlays, and I've never liked any of them more than this one. So you can give it to me. I can't promise you that I'll like it. I may like it. I may like it a lot. I've just had some other overlays thrown at me, and I've just not liked any of them. So, but maybe yours will be different. It's not even about that I didn't like them. It's just functionally for me, this one works the best. And you can do a lot. I mean, like the RGB changing colors with everything. Gran, I appreciate the $2 super chat. The RGB changing with everything, and I don't know. I prefer it. Are you going to be on Evan Freiberger's stream again if he has one? Yeah, he actually asked me about that like 10 minutes ago. I think I might be. The Panthers are playing tonight though, so I will be. Once it gets to about 8 p.m., I'll probably be watching the Panther game. I'm a huge Florida Panther fan, and it's game 2 of the finals, so I can't really miss that. Good morning, Connor. Your son is adorable. I appreciate that. I see you all. Let me quickly do what I do. Spend 5 minutes running through what's going on today. Let me actually take that. I'm not being right back. I'm right here. Let me just spend 5 minutes, tell you what's going on today, and then I'm going to answer all your questions. It might take me less than 5 minutes. It might be really quick, actually. Okay. So, let me know if the music's too loud, too. I'll actually turn it down just a little bit. All right. I like a little vibe, though, you know? Here we go. Large marginal stretching all the way up from basically southern Maine out to Cheyenne, Wyoming, down to southwestern Texas, down to, I mean, almost Tallahassee, Florida down there. Huge, huge, huge. Slight risk today. And my let's see. Check. I got to turn down my mic a tiny bit. I was clipping a little bit there. All right. Check. I don't want to clip. Check. There we go. You guys can see this. This is probably the most interesting thing to me. A slight up here in Massachusetts, southern New Hampshire, southeastern Vermont, northern Connecticut, northwestern Rhode Island. But again, don't just really, I mean, pretend like the slight's bigger because stuff's never exactly where they think it's going to be. Oh, how did that delete? Oh, you can delete while you're writing it? Oh, whoa. I did not know that. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Interesting feature. We've got some severe thunderstorms right now rolling through Kentucky. Nothing too major. 6-mile-per-hour winds, 3/4 inch size hail. Typical severe thunderstorm warning. Enhanced. Pueblo down to the panhandle of Oklahoma, southwestern Kansas, almost to Dodge City. Now, okay, enhanced is great, but we need to see what's driving these. You can see Clovis down to Hobbs, to Lubbock, Plainview, almost to Snyder. Headed out to Seymour, we got another. In Hereford, we have another enhanced. What is driving these enhanced risks? Well, it's not the tornado risk. We've got a large 2% and then a much or a more significant 5% here. We might go 10% again today. We'll look into that. And here we go. It's not the wind. So it's a hail-driven enhanced risk. Here's our hail threat today. So you've got wind and hail up there in the northeast. And we probably have some hatched big hail here. This is what's driving our enhanced risk today. Much rather that than a tornado, but we'll see what happens with the Tor. 30%, 15 to 30% hatch region for hail. Again, hatched, we could see literally, they call it gorilla size hail.
Warning, a new special marine warning has been issued.
So, let me actually lower this. I don't need to be watching myself back in HD. There we go. I mean, Redbird, I appreciate that. Like, I would definitely take a look at it, like 100%. I don't know the best way for you to message me. Or if are you in my Discord? Connor's Climate Corner HQ. I would 100% like try it. Give you a shout out if I liked it. I'd let you I'd let people know, like, if you'd want me, if you want me to, I'd try it. But I just, yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of different overlays that I've not really loved. Some are pretty cool though. 15 to 30% hatch region for hail. Yeah, gorilla hail. 4 or 5 inch plus hail is possible out here. Lubbock again. I feel bad for Lubbock. Lubbock's been getting it, and this isn't it for Lubbock. Let's go into day 2. You guys still have. You guys are still in a categorical. Let's go into day 3. You guys are back in an enhanced. We could go moderate day 3. Sunday, unfortunately. And then we go into day 4, and then we're actually looking at down here in lower Mississippi Valley, portions of the southeast and eastern southern plains. So that's what's going on today. I really quickly, before we get started, did want to just go over the pivotal weather with you, just to show you what our timing for everything looks like. I went over it in my video, but we can take a look. Let's get YouTube panel out, and then I'll get to everyone's questions. Here we go. Latest stage triple R. Let's go to the 15Z. How loaded is the 15Z? That's fine. Let's take a look at what we think the, timing wise, what we're going to see today. Put the merch on. All right. So, timing for everything today. Let's start down there in the plains. Moving forward in time, we start to see some storms firing off, potentially strong to severe thunderstorms initiating portions of eastern Colorado. This is around 5 p.m. Central, and potentially down here in eastern New Mexico around 5 to 6 p.m. Central. Probably 4 to 5 p.m. Central, actually. And here we go. Moving forward, this is a little bit of a downtrend from the earlier HRRR run, but we'll continue to see this change. Likely there's going to be some capping issues and stuff. Or, some models or some runs could see some capping issues. I know I need the Panthers to win tonight. KJ, Katie, Jasmine, Jen, I appreciate you guys. Moving forward in time, this again up here, guys, it's like Groundhog's Day. I think I saw Max Velocity say that on Twitter. It's like the same thing. Here we go again as we get into the early morning, 4, 5, 6 Central. Here comes MCS, strong winds moving into OKC up to Tulsa, down towards southeastern Oklahoma. Same thing we just experienced last night. I mean, this whole area, guys, if you're wondering what's going to happen up here, it's going to be very similar to yesterday. This whole area, very similar to yesterday. Not exact. Storms may be a little bit farther up to the north, south, east, west, but very similar. This latest run does look like, it still looks like it could be pretty rough for Lubbock. Let's push down a little bit farther into southern Texas. And yeah, so we'll have to watch that area really quickly, and I'll get to your questions. Let's look at the Ohio Valley. Potentially northwestern Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri start getting involved as we get into 4 to 6 p.m. Central. Possibility for some supercells out here. This could possibly come with some damaging winds here as well. Not looking too bad though. We do get a little bit of like a discrete setup through portions of northern Mississippi and Alabama, and then into northwestern Georgia as we go late into the night. So it is possible for an isolated tornado there. 1 or 2, some strong winds, hail, but not looking too bad, at least on the latest run. Last but not least, before I get to your questions, let's just look at what's happening up here. This is interesting. Potentially strong to severe thunderstorms as early as, we're talking maybe 3 3 p.m. in the afternoon up here in New England. Connecticut, Mass, southern Vermont, southern New Hampshire, Rhode Island potentially. And then as we get into the evening hours, this turns into more of a wind event as it moves offshore. So we just got stuff going on all over the place. Oh, and by the way, I don't know, you guys probably already saw this, but look at the Eastern Pacific. Guys, we've got twins. We've got twins. Pivotal weather. I should have that thing on the bottom. Give me a second. Where is it? What is going on? What is going on lately? OBS. OBS, do your job. Gosh, OBS. Why can't you just do your job, OBS? 1 second, let me fix this. OBS, I explained this in my other stream, but OBS loves to forget settings. There you go, that's how it should look. Anyways, yeah, 70% chance for this storm out to the east, and then the western one, 80% chance. So, yeah, we could have 2 hurricanes out there in the Eastern Pacific moving along with each other. Maybe they'll collide, Fujiwara effect type event. All right, so let's get to questions. That's why I have it on display. What's going on, chat? Can we see STP values? Yeah, we can see that. We'll go back to Piv. There we go. Pivotal weather. Pull it up. It's annoying having to look at my stream on because it's not working in OBS. I have to look at the chat in YouTube, and it's just more screens I have to have up. Yeah, let's take a look at these SIG torp rams down here in the southeast today. I mean, sorry, southeast. Southern Plains. We'll look at SIG Tor. Right around Lubbock, and then northern panhandle of Texas, we've got some decent SIG Tor rams. Huge, huge, huge cape here. Almost 6,000, approaching 6,000 surface cape in and around Lubbock today. Almost a 5.0 effective layer. SIG Tor ram, really close to capping. Really close to capping, though. Really close to capping. Let's look up here, northern Texas panhandle today. PDS Tor. But we're having some issues at the surface. I don't know if we're actually going to have any convection here. PDS Tor, though, I mean, these are decent soundings, but I don't even think we're supposed to see northern panhandle any sort of major supercells, but it's possible. Let me move up into... Let's move up here. Let's take a sounding out here. Yeah, they're all Tor. A little bit of inhibition in some of these. If we go and look at this nationally, we do have a little bit of SIG Tor down here in Alabama as well. That's interesting. Let me look back. I mean, obviously the southern plain, or the plains in general, look to be the most aggressive today. Let's look at our surface-based cape. It just explodes over Lubbock. Giant. Huge. Yeah, 6,000 surface cape, basically. There's a little bit of inhibition out here. I mean, there's a chance we get a little bit of capping out here, which would be a good thing. That'd be a very good thing. Latest run of the HRRR still isn't seeing it, but still sees these supercells. Not as dangerous and long track as yesterday, except for this, except for potentially coming out of Colorado. We may get some chasers up here today. They may be right up there in that sector. All right. Do you have maps with smoke and haze coverage? Windy usually shows it during the daytime. It's a little hard to see it on here right now, actually. Sometimes you can see it a little bit better. This is a fire and smoke map. Let's see. Can I expand
a new flash
this?
flood warning has been issued.
So that's our area of concern today. I live in Mississippi. Northern Mississippi, we got a slide in. Although from Jackson all the way north to Mississippi, we do have the chance for strong to severe weather. What's going on, Caitlin? Sabin? What's the Ohio weather going to look like tomorrow, preferably northeast? Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it's so much harder when I have to run off my YouTube stream instead of just keeping my OBS open. Let's go to our 12Z from the HRRR and see what it's bringing us up there. And let's go to our day 2. Ohio's not really in a risk zone tomorrow, but you could get some downpours later in the day, late evening hours. Actually, we can go and take a look at this excessive, or we can look at daily rainfall totals. A little bit in Ohio today, a little bit more tomorrow. Central to southern Ohio is going to see an okay amount of rain over the next 48 hours, but not expected to be severe. Of course, it's Lubbock, yeah. Western Kentucky, decent amount of rainfall over the next 2 days. You're also in a slight day 1, day 2. Marginal day 3. So, an active weekend for you guys. Severe weather and flooding potential out there. You're not in a major risk, but you are in a risk zone all of those days, and there's a decent amount of rainfall coming through. Yeehaw! Ride up, cowboy. Jason, I appreciate the cowboy hat. I was late on that one, I know for sure. Yeah, what's going on? Slightly confused, blonde. All right, we're not going to spam. Mute it. Was there a tornado actually reported on the ground near Lubbock, Texas yesterday? Yes, there was. 5 to 10 miles per hour and lift it as it went over Lubbock. Crazy luck. Something like that. But that was, yeah, I mean, it did do some damage to western Lubbock. I think there was power outages, some roof damage. Power lines were down. There were tennis ball hail recorded in Lubbock. So there was some damage, but it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Joplin, Springfield. Yeah, you guys are out here. You're in this slight today.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
2% tour. 15% wind. And 5% hail. So, decent threat for you guys today. We could take a look at what the timeline looks like for you. Some more strong to severe thunderstorms creeping up on you guys as we get into around midnight. It's probably going to be closer to 2-3 central, where we could see some damaging wind and hail move through. Potentially. Hopefully not, though. Into the region. How's Minnesota next week? We'll have to run over to Pivotal, take a look at that. Where am I? Why is everything not in the right spot? What's going on, Blondie? Hello, everyone. I can check Northeast Texas, yeah. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Yeah, so really quickly, I'll go over to the Euro. We'll take a look at I'll take a quick look at what's ahead. I usually like starting with the jet stream. What's our jet doing? You can see why we're continuing to have this threat. This you see all this divergence and shear from the mid-level. I'm sure there's a ton down at the 850 as well. There we go. Skirting off into the east. And then we've got when is our Sunday? Interesting. Not seeing much for that enhanced out on Sunday, Monday. 1 second, guys. Was the question for New York? I think it was for New York. Oh, Minnesota. It was Minnesota. That's right. Yeah, precipitation-wise, we can look at quantitative precipitation. Let's see if you guys are even expected to have much rainfall here. A little bit. Not much. Yeah, I mean, at least the Euro all the way through almost Thursday. This isn't a ton of rainfall. It's a little bit, not a ton of rainfall. We don't have you in any risk zones up there. We can take a look really quickly at the SBC outlook. So, general thunderstorms tomorrow. General thunderstorms on Sunday. Not much happening day 4. We'll see if they change that. And temp-wise, you guys actually make it pretty cold as we move into early next week. Temps well below average. 10 to 15 degrees. Getting into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then it starts to warm up again. Up there in Minnesota. Northeastern Texas. Northeastern Texas, we're up in this marginal to slight today. Let's see what's driving it. We've got that Tor risk really right on the border of Oklahoma. Red River region up there, but not really northeastern Texas, although I'd still be alert. You could get some tornadoes down here. It always happens. Sometimes you get some out of the outside the risk zone. Wind, we've got that 5% northeastern Texas, and then hail, hail's our biggest threat today for northeastern Texas. Actually, was I in day 2 for that hail? We've got Tor, we've got wind and hail. Wind and hail. Yeah, so it's not looking too bad up there. We can take a look at the latest HRRR run too for northeastern Texas. Pretty calm. So this is going to end up being an event for you guys tomorrow, potentially into the early morning. Yeah, you can see this right here. This is as we get into 10, 11 a.m. Central. Some potential strong to severe thunderstorms rolling through, but it's not looking too bad up there. This right here, as we get into later into the evening or into the evening hours, is probably your bigger severe threat up here tomorrow for northeastern Texas.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Deep southwestern Ontario has been so quiet so far this year. Yeah, you know, honestly, I don't pay attention enough to what's going on in Canada. Sometimes I do. During wintertime, I actually do a lot because we have so many of our snowstorms diving down from Canada that I typically know a lot about what's going on in Canada. During like spring and summer, I typically don't know what's going on too much up there. Oh, basically Detroit. Okay. Yeah, down here. I know I feel like this is where the majority of people live in Ontario. Am I wrong? Just a hunch. What, maybe a good 70%? How's northern Colorado looking for today? You guys got a slight through Denver up towards almost Fort Collins. So you could get some spicy weather. This does come with a 2% Tor risk, 5%, 5 to 15% hail or wind, sorry. And you've almost got that. You've almost got that hatched hail up here pushing close to Denver. So let me quickly just take a look at the timing for you guys and what we see with the latest HRRR. How bad will Lubbock be today? Well, we don't know for sure. It has a pretty high ceiling, meaning it could be very bad. But there's some models are pointing out some inhibition, potential capping on some of these storms. So it's going to kind of be an all or nothing, I think, type event. I actually do think it's somewhat conditional. I do expect some severe cells to roll through Lubbock today. But it's somewhat, just based on the soundings I looked at, it's somewhat conditional. So meaning it could be, again, like a all or bust. Yeah, so some decent thunderstorms moving out into northern Colorado as we get into around 3 p.m. today. So mid to late afternoon, and then evening hours. This is when things get a little more spicy. 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10. You can see we could have some damaging winds, hail with this. And we do have that 2% torr risk up there as well. So definitely a lot of... The HRRR still picking up a lot of activity up here in Colorado. And I can tell you, when we took a look at the HRRR and pivotal weather, we're seeing a few long tracks right through this enhanced region. Potential long track supercells, which can put down some damaging tornadoes as well. So we'll have to watch out for that. Indianapolis in the clear for bad weather today? I believe so. Let's take a look at our categorical. If you're in general thunderstorm, you do have that marginal right to your south. So not impossible for a severe thunderstorm to float its way up here or for one of these just to intensify a little bit more than expected. But yeah, you're just in that general thunderstorm. So it's a marginal is a 1 out of 5 risk. A general thunderstorm means it's, 10% or less chance that you're going to see a severe thunderstorm. Not a very high chance. We just got upgraded to a 5% tornado here. Yay. Oh, did you? I wonder if it's showing here yet. Oh, look at that. What's going on, Mizzo? Look at that. 5%. Big out there in Western Kentucky. Yeah, Owensboro's right on the edge of that. Okay. Thanks, Blondie. Over 90% of Canada's population lives within 100 kilometers of the U.S. border. Can't blame them. There's not much. It's a lot of freezing air and forests up here. There's really not much. I mean, it's probably pretty extreme to live up here. I guess it's not developed either. I mean, look at this. Alaska, we've got a winter storm warning. So hey, chat. If any of you live up here, just know that you're in a winter storm warning. If any of you driving down I-11 in Alaska today, up here, yeah, just beware of that. Okay, dangerous situation. I wonder if there is anyone who lives up there in that area. What's going on, Christine? What do you think the tornado risk for Fort Leonard would? Oh, I was looking at that earlier today. Well, you guys are in a 2%. You guys are in a 2%, so not too far away from the 5%. So stay weather alert today. So you're talking about Sunday. Yeah, we're not gonna get that the Sunday, but what we can do, let's look at our probabilistic day 3. You guys are in that slight for day 3. Is that going to be tornado driven? God, the way this works sometimes. Let's take a look. Matt, when are you getting on today if you're still in the stream? What's your plan? Okay, let me just double check where I'm looking. Oh my gosh, come on. Fort Leonard, Missouri. Okay, so like St. Robert Rolla, South Central Missouri. All right. We can take a look. Let's get into... Actually, let's look at our Rufus. Let's look at our Rufus for that. 12Z. Getting into Sunday. Here we go. Oh, is it not going to see out that far? So close. Oh, the 12Z is still loading. Let's try the 06. Huh. Interesting. Rufus sees absolutely nothing going on there. Let's look at our NAM. These models aren't seeing much happening out there on Sunday, even though we've got a probabilistic. Let's see. Let's go into our Euro. 850 millibars getting into Sunday. Yeah, I mean, you've got some shear pushing through the region. It's actually out ahead. So if this is going to be an event in Missouri, it's going to be pretty late on Sunday going into Monday morning. Yeah, models aren't picking it up too much. This is our Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But you can see we've got a slight risk from the SBC. Models just aren't picking up much. So who knows? Maybe it started to fall off. We'll see if this changes, but nothing's really jumping off the map, which is interesting. Very interesting. 1 second, guys.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I'd see more on there based on what the SBC's given it, but we'll have to see how it adjusts. I agree, Ashley. Hopefully we continue to see that look. Because, listen, the Rufus model is usually really aggressive, too. Like, if it thinks there's even a chance there's going to be something there, it's going to throw supercells all over the map. That's what I've noticed with the Rufus. So the fact that the Rufus isn't really showing much, we'll see, though. The 12Z is still loading of the Rufus, and it might change its mind. Lubbock needs a break. It does. Poplar Bluff, Missouri. You guys are in that slight today. Slight categorical risk. You are now in the 5% or right on the border of the 5%. I think you are in the 5% here, though. Yeah, you are in the 5% tor risk today. So you just got to upgrade it in your tor risk. So wind and tor looks to be tornado and wind threat today is what's driving your risk, your slight risk. Timing wise, the baby's not happy. Timing wise, let's take a look. You actually have some storms right out to. Let me actually go in here. I appreciate the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's weird. It's not showing up on my OBS. I'll have to fix that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Models are the HRRR is starting to do some weird things today. I mean, let's go back to our 12Z because this looks to be a very early morning Saturday severe weather event for you guys over in Poplar Bluff. I mean, this doesn't look like a severe weather event at all for you guys. So interesting. I can see this. I can see. One second. I'm honestly a little perplexed. I'm a little perplexed. Oh, here we go. I'm a little perplexed because the models just aren't agreeing with what we're seeing from the SPC. So, which is not normal. Sometimes it happens that it's not normal. So I'm trying to just dive into this and figure out where they're why they're disagreeing and where they're disagreeing and why they're disagreeing. Because if I take a look at the HRRR, I mean, I guess over the next hour or two,
you could have a chance for tours. I wouldn't like 5%, really? And this is what we're looking at. Let's take a look at some of the other models. Very strange. NAM, but this is so far. I mean, this is already happening. We don't have anything down. I don't know. This is weird. This is weird. I don't fully understand. I can understand the SBC. Here's what I can understand. That's very strange. So if we go to our tour, I can understand maybe the 5% out here. I don't know why they just stuck this 5% into Missouri based on what I'm seeing across the models. But let me look at... let me actually look at the parameters real quick. Sorry, I don't want to stick on this for too long, but it's very, very interesting. I'm trying to figure out why there's a little bit of helicity in the region, but like... I probably would have kept it at 2%. If even a 2%. You got some SIG tour moving up into here, potentially. About an hour or two. A little bit of SIG tour. But again... reflectivity wise, it's not looking like much around that time. Really congested. There's not going to be any solid inflow. I mean, I don't know, guys. And you're in a 5% tour. I can't. It's an interesting upgrade choice to me of all the upgrades they could have made today. Whatever. I very rarely am actually super perplexed about why they make those decisions. Anyways. Same thing with same thing with Fort Leonard, Missouri. Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. Interesting. The risk zones to me are just very weird. Now, sometimes in the middle of the day they change them. This happened about a week or 2 weeks ago. I think I was on stream and I was like, why are these risk zones placed like this? This doesn't make any sense. Oh, it was when we had our risk in Texas and they had like a slight down here. And I was like, the slight should be up here. And then they upgraded it. Like the next time they released the risk zones, they shifted it way up here. But it was such a you never see major shifts like that. So I don't know. I think this is a little bit of a mistake. What's going on with our risk zones today? I'm interested to see what other people think. But I'm scratching my head looking at some of these risk zones today. Anyways, I'll just get back to answering questions. Weird. Arkansas. Guy, Arkansas. Yeah, you're in that slide today. I mean, again, 2% tour, 15% wind, and then you've got a 5 to 15% hail. Timing-wise for you guys, we're talking about pretty late. 1, 2 in the morning Central Time. We could have some bad weather rolling through northern Arkansas. It is funny shape. Yeah, everyone's been talking about that on Twitter. I'm actually a little annoyed. What's going on with these risk zones today? Colorado. We are watching Colorado today. We have a enhanced risk stretching all the way from Colorado Springs down to basically the panhandle of Oklahoma. This is hail driven. It is hail driven. There you go. 30% hatch risk for hail just off to the southeast of Denver. So gorilla hail, 4-inch plus hail possible. Timing wise for you guys, the most significant severe weather. We could have some damaging isolated severe thunderstorms earlier in the day, 2 p.m. Central ish. And then more of a kind of wind event as these storms move through late into the evening. Early to mid evening. Lubbock, it's like Groundhog's Day. We could have a very similar setup as yesterday. I don't think we're gonna get a massive wedge taking a V line for you today, like we did yesterday. But there's some decent. I mean, we're seeing 5,000 to 6,000 surface cape down here. So, in my opinion, it is a hail driven enhanced threat. Down in Lubbock, and that makes sense when you're seeing cape values in the lower to mid levels at 5,000 to 6,000. So, but again, we could get a strong tornado down here, but you're just in a 5%. Not just, but you're in a 5%. B Moon Glow, Cindy, I appreciate you guys. East Tennessee, yeah, you guys are, again, this is going to be a late threat for you out there. You've got a wind-driven slight risk.
has been issued.
So potentially some damaging thunderstorms moving into eastern Tennessee as early as 3 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern today. And then we could see kind of a bigger wind threat as we get into around, well, yeah, kind of a bigger wind risk as we get into around 11 midnight. Heavy downpours. Let's take a look at our excessive rainfall out there as well. Western Tennessee, northern central western Tennessee, you're in that excessive rainfall. Western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, little sliver of northeastern Arkansas. So excessive rainfall possible up there. Same out here. Portions of southern Kansas, southeastern Colorado, panhandle of Oklahoma, northeastern panhandle of Texas. Pretty much all of Oklahoma really actually is in this slight chance for excessive rainfall. Western Arkansas, southwestern Missouri. So flash flooding is going to be potentially an issue out in these areas. Eastern Tennessee, we'll have to see. You could be waking up to a lot of rainfall tomorrow morning. And like I said, late at night, we're going to have some pretty strong thunderstorms moving through there. Potentially midnight, 1 a.m. Stop raining. Missouri's drenched. Yeah, a lot of these areas are, especially out here. Are you streaming on more than one platform? Yeah, I'm streaming on 2. No, don't worry. I'm not just talking to myself. I'm streaming on TikTok as well. What's going on, Michael? What happened in Lubbock? We had a wedge tornado right outside of Lubbock approach it. Luckily fell apart right before it went through the city. We did have some power lines down, damage to roofs, large hail reported, some structural damage reported yesterday, but we're in another enhanced today. It's like I said, it's a hail-driven enhanced, but not impossible to get some damaging straight line winds and strong tornadoes in the region either. Kentucky today, you did get upgraded to a tour. 5% tour out here in Western Kentucky. We're talking about South Central, up through Bowling Green, Madisonville, Paducah. You guys are all upgraded in that 5% tour today. So include it with your wind risk and your hail risk. So looks right now that most significant tour risk is going to be moving into Kentucky at around 3 p.m., 4, 5, 6, 7. So late afternoon, mid to late afternoon, early evening hours. I'd be weather alert out there in Kentucky for some tornadoes, tornado potential. Very similar look today as yesterday. I mean, very similar. Look, it's almost the same exact. I mean, this is like exactly how yesterday looked. You're in an enhanced again. It's a hail-driven enhanced. You're in a 5% tour. And what's your wind out here is actually? Yeah, and you're in a 15% wind. I think they'll, well, yeah, actually, I don't know if they'll upgrade that. So very similar. Taking a look over at Pivotal, we do see some decent sells there. I appreciate the sub. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I need to make it a little bigger so I can see the so I can see the name. Here, I'm going to push into Pivotal real quick just so I can show you what's going on in Lubbock. I know a lot of people are concerned about that. Here we go. 15Z. 16Z isn't fully loaded yet. We will run down here out to Lubbock. Strong to severe thunderstorms start firing off here in western Texas potentially. So we're talking 6 to 7 p.m. Central. At least based on the latest HRRR run. Could be earlier. And, you know, we do get a potential strong, not long tracking, but supercell that's capable of, a couple supercells capable of producing some damaging winds and a tornado and large hail on the ground out here for a little bit, moving across the southern panhandle of Texas out east. Even later in the day, you can see as we get into really around 10 to 11 p.m. Central, we may get some more storms firing off here, moving into western Oklahoma. All the models are going to look at this a little bit differently, so I wouldn't be paying attention to exactly where you see these storms. Models are going to handle the capping as well differently. So, you know, it shows it here. It could be here. We could have some more storms firing off here. Depends on what happens with the cap. But yeah, Lubbock's right in that region again. Yesterday looked a little more aggressive on the HRRR, I will say, before the event. Wait, how is that huge now? Thanks, Nick. How did that just happen? It's actually really funny. What? I literally didn't touch anything. There we go. Yeah, it did look a little more aggressive on the HRRR yesterday before those storms started firing off. I get that big. So that's a good thing. I'll say that's a good thing. This looks a little less threatening than yesterday, but you know, all the possibilities are still there with Lubbock. So regardless of that, looking less threatening on our future model, I'd stay just as alert today. But it's at least looking a little bit less scary than yesterday. That's something. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was gigantic. Thanks, Confused Bond. Angel, let him cook. NTX, what's going on? Joshua, I appreciate you. The next one will be a gyrating belly button. Oh my gosh. Driving from Chicago to Texas tomorrow, what should I expect? Huh.
New information. This severe thunderstorm warning has been updated.
You may drive through some bad weather. I mean, let's look at tomorrow. This is around 1 in the afternoon Central Time. I mean, if you're driving from Chicago to Texas, you're driving directly through everything. So you're going to go... There's no way of avoiding driving through bad weather tomorrow. There's no way. I mean, this is all afternoon and evening. So you just got to be careful. Just got to be careful. Know what's going on as you're driving. Facts, Confused Blonde. Yep. Yeah, if you sub on TikTok or become a member on YouTube, you get access to the Discord. Yep. Awesome by the community in there. Everything's updated daily live. I'm up every morning. I'm up every morning at 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m., updating everything in there, making announcements in the chat, what's going on, or in the Discord about what's going on, posting all the maps. And we've got the NWS bot in our Discord as well. So every time there's a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado emergency, tornado, observed tornado, whatever, flash flood emergency, flash flood warning, it's all instantly posted in the Discord. It's on top of it. Yeah, of course. No problem. No problem. No problem, D. I got a Discord from YouTube member. Yeah, Tufts. I appreciate you. What about Monday's weather? Yeah, so what are we in? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's go out to our probabilistic into Monday. This is going to be our day 4. Maybe getting a little spicy down here. Southeastern Arkansas. Really just southern Arkansas. Big portion of Louisiana. I think this will likely expand. A lot of times they're a little small on these when they first put them out. So we might expand and include, you know, Lafayette, New Orleans. This could expand up to Hot Springs, Huntsville. We'll have to see. Down to Panama City. I appreciate that, Retro. I appreciate the sub. You see I shrunk it down a little bit. I actually did like it a little bit bigger than that. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of funny. I'm like, maybe I should keep it just a little bit bigger. Just a little bit bigger. So, yeah, I'll take a look at this really quick. What's this actually going to look like? Well, let's take a look. So, this is getting into Monday. I don't think we can see... Well, yeah, our Rufus is still... What's our 12Z Rufus looking like? 58 hours out. I mean, look at Sunday down here in the southeast on the Rufus. Look at this region out here on Sunday, guys. Oh, my gosh. Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, North Carolina. The Rufus thinks you're getting a real spicy severe weather Sunday. I'll just note that real quick. Anyways, if the Rufus is right about that, that may be a pretty full coverage, live coverage day. Here's as we get into Monday. Here's what's going on. We've got kind of a, well, we've got this big upper level low moving in from the northern plains, scooting down south, and we've got this kind of subtropical jet. This is our low level jet feeding across the southeast. So definitely some shear potential down here. Definitely some clashing of air boundaries. You're gonna have some cooler air from the north here. You're gonna have some cooler, drier air from the north here, clashing with some warmer, moist air from the south here. You can see the directionality of the wind. These are southwesterlies moving into northeasterlies, or moving into northwesterlies. So this may be a tour-driven. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be tour-driven, but I think there's gonna be a decent tour threat with this if we continue to see this look for Monday. Let's look at the 500 millibar on this too. Yeah, you see that? This is diving in. At your lower levels, you're going to have really strong southwesterlies and southerlies. And then you've got this mid-level jet moving in from the north with drier, cooler air. So you could get some shear, some rotation out of these storms. Could be a tour threat down there for sure. And then we'll have to watch what happens up here Monday night into Tuesday. This may be a decent threat for severe weather up here, Mid-Atlantic and New England as well. Let's see. Bowling Green, Missouri after tomorrow and the day after that. Wait, Bowling Green, Missouri after tomorrow. So Sunday and Monday? Why am I used to Bowling Green? Is that Louisiana? Where's the... Why can't I think of this? Kentucky. That's why. I'm like, Bowling Green, Missouri. Yeah, you guys in a general thunderstorm today. You're in a little bit of a marginal tomorrow. Could get a little spicy tomorrow. I don't know, though. Again, we're not seeing too much craziness across Missouri tomorrow. I'd have to go look back at the older runs of the HRRR, NAM, or Rufus, but they've downtrended Missouri a little bit tomorrow. But that doesn't mean it's going to be a downtrend. That could just be a model run, and then next model run we'll see it again. Happens all the time. And then day 3. So you guys have multiple days of potential strong to severe thunderstorms out there in Missouri. I'd say today is probably not looking too bad out there in Bowling Green, but tomorrow, Sunday, we definitely have a severe threat there. And some decent rainfall. As we get into Monday, I think we're going to have some cooler air and dry conditions moving in, though, to Missouri.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
How's next weekend looking for Florida? We can attempt to look at it.
This severe thunderstorm
It may not be perfect being that far out, but we can take a look. Let's look at our 500 millibar height and Euro 12Z. Just trying to see if we have we do kind of have a high pressure sitting over. We have a high pressure sitting over Florida next weekend, at least according to the Euro 12Z. That would mean nice weather. But again, forecasting over 7 days out isn't going to be perfect. Does the GFS see something similar? Kinda does. Kinda does. That's looking good. It's a good sign for nice weather next weekend in Florida. Hot weather, but dry weather. And if it's a vacation, you're probably going to be at the beach, so who cares about the heat? You know, Florida over summer, you get a thunderstorm every day at like 3 p.m. that lasts like 15 to 20 minutes. It rolls over. I lived in Florida my whole life, 24 years. It rains like every day because you're on a peninsula. South Florida is in the subtropics. Central South Florida is in the subtropics. But no big low pressure rainstorm moving over that region. I mean, it looks to be, there's some tropical moisture down there in the GFS. Let's take a look at the Euro. Yeah, the Euro kind of clears things up. Saturday it wants some bad storms up in northern Florida. Not looking too bad right now. Yeah, not looking too bad right now. What is with the lack of watches today? There was a lack of watches yesterday too. So I don't know. I don't know. What's going on, guys? You looking forward to the rain? I'm in Virginia Beach, so maybe I need to worry more about here. Yes, Sunday. We just the Rufus, man. The Rufus just pummels this region with supercells on Sunday. Now the Rufus is an aggressive model. It a lot of times shows kind of worst possible scenario, so I wouldn't be worried too much, or I wouldn't worry that much. But like the Rufus shows a pretty aggressive picture here on Sunday. I will say also most of our models do show a nice little low level jet stream pumping through here with some good shear. So that's a sign for some potential pretty bad weather. NTX, Angel Joshua, Margie. Hi, with 30 roses. I appreciate you. Will Oklahoma have another outbreak? It's possible today. It doesn't look like an outbreak today. It looks like the potential for a few very damaging supercells. Now this, day 3. We'll have to see. We'll have to watch day 3 for a potential bigger event.
New information.
They've already got an enhanced on day 3. Sometimes when they go day 3 enhanced, they consider they end up bumping them up to a moderate day of. They don't like putting enhanced on anything past 2 days if they don't have high confidence. They don't like putting a slight on anything past 3 days if they don't have high confidence. So they're seeing something out there on day 3, Sunday. We can actually take a look at what the Rufus sees out there in Texas on Sunday. I think the 12Z should be almost unloading. Okay, so man, tonight the Rufus is going crazy on the in Oklahoma and northern Texas. I mean, the Rufus is going crazy through this region. This is an older run though, so yeah, look at that. I mean, the Rufus wants an outbreak. Oklahoma, Texas for Sunday. Again, the Rufus is a pretty aggressive model sometimes though, so I don't really I more care what the HUR is showing us, even the NAM 3K, than the Rufus. Mesoscale discussion's out. Let's take a look at it. Show me it. Come on. Okay, we got a mesoscale discussion here. This is southeast Missouri, far southern Illinois, western Kentucky, northwest Tennessee. It's as of right now. Probability of watch issuance 60%. A gradual increase in the threat of wind damage and a couple tornadoes is expected through mid-afternoon. A watch may become necessary. You see, they're like almost 50-50 on this watch. Okay, so they did notice they moved this here, but look where they have that tor risk. See, they upgraded the tor risk all the way out. Oh my God, come on, weather-wise. They updated this tor risk. I can't speak. Out here, but they put their mesoscale discussion in here for a couple tornadoes. I just think this thing has expanded way far out to the west. I mean, your tor risk is really dropping off a cliff out here right now. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. If there's a tornado that touches down there, don't come to me. But that's where the mesoscale discussion is. Okay, so our other mesoscale discussion up here in New England. Southern New England, concerning severe weather potential. Watch possible. Probability of watch issuance 40%. Isolated wind damage and marginally severe hail will be possible with multi-cell. Oh, wait. You guys can't see what I'm looking at. Beep. Will be possible with multi-cell storms after 18 to 19 Z, 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. So yeah, 2 to 3 p.m., get into the mid-late afternoons. We're going to have some strong storms moving through. I talked about this in my video today. Interesting mesoscale discussion up there. This was the other mesoscale discussion that I was talking about. So you can see where their elevated risk for tornadoes are. And for some reason, they still have that. They push that upgraded tor risk outside. Like all of this is outside of that mesoscale discussion out to the west of it. I just think they extended it too far, but maybe they're just trying to be precautious. I mean, these storms are already moving out of that region. Did you miss anything after you left earlier? I'm not sure. What are you thinking for Joplin area tonight, tomorrow morning, and into Sunday? Let's go into Radar Omega real quick. Joplin, this is probably going to be mainly a wind and heavy downpour risk as we get into around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning Central Time tomorrow morning. And then pushing into Sunday, HRRR isn't taking us far enough, but we can take a look at our day 3 risk on here, which does include a slight up through Joplin and Springfield, up through central to southern Missouri. Again, I'm not really seeing much in Missouri on Sunday in terms of severe weather. The models could just be adjusting this run, and maybe they'll show it next, but I'm just not seeing much. Taking a look at our Rufus. At the end of the Rufus run, I mean, we're talking 9, 10 p.m. Central. It starts to put some thunderstorms into Missouri. So if we do have a Sunday Missouri threat, it may end up being late evening into the early hours of Monday morning. That's the only thing we have on our short ranges right now. Let's take a look at our NAM. Let's take a look at the instability and stuff like that. Why is that so far? One second, guys. All right, moving into Sunday. You do get a little bit of surface-based cape up there through Missouri. Really, really spicy look from the NAM. Again, right here. Northern Texas, Oklahoma. Eastern New Mexico, southeastern Colorado, and southern Kansas. Again, some decent surface-based cape up here, down off the southeastern coast, mid-Atlantic coast. Looking at our SIGTOR params, getting into Sunday. We do have some SIGTOR params over Missouri. So, NAM's seeing something, so it's a possibility. I agree, Kay. Stay safe in weather alert today. This is a large risk zone. %5 tornado risk in Western Kentucky. Wondering why they added it. I understand why they added it in Western Kentucky. We're seeing some decent helicity out here. Turbulent air. I don't fully understand why they extended it all the way out here, almost towards Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Or not there. I don't understand why they extended it all the way out here, past Poplar Bluff, all the way to Thayer, Fredericktown. These storms are moving out now. We haven't seen anything touch down. Western Kentucky, far southeastern Missouri, like out here, like I kind of understand that, but this region's kind of understandable. I don't fully understand this region out here. Storms are moving away. Let's take a look at our velocities. We've got nothing on velocity.
That's concerning to me.
Central Indiana. We've been in a marginal for days. I know. Marginal is better than a slighter enhanced. Yeah, general thunderstorm today. General to marginal tomorrow. Marginal Sunday. So you're going to continue to have just a slight risk for severe weather. Precipitation forecast. Not too much either. I mean, tomorrow looks to be the day where you could see a decent amount of rainfall. There's not a tornado right now. Guys, I'm going to get off because I'm going to be on, I think, for a little bit in Evan's stream later, Evan Freiberger. And I'm also going to do another one of my own streams later. So I've been doing these like 3 streams a day. I like to get on in the afternoon just to give updates on what's going on. But we're going to start to see the severe weather crank up as we move forward through the next couple to a few hours. But I appreciate everyone. I appreciate the follows, the gifts, you just being in here helping out my algorithm. I have posted my update for today. I post updates on severe weather and tropics every day. It's already posted. And I live stream every day. So I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on a little bit later. Thank you everyone who came over from Evan's community as well. I'll see you guys a little bit later.